Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of MidRank Madness. This is a game between ZarkanSjel and jgallarday on Frozen Temple. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is ZarkanSjel, henceforth known as Zarkan. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is jgallarday. Oh, that's what the full name is. All right, so jgallarday, henceforth known as J, because holy smokes. All right, so this is a ZVT MidRank Madness. If you don't know what this is my weekly examination of gold, silver, and platinum level gameplay. And by that I mean gold, platinum, and diamond gameplay. Nope, silver is down and into the void. So gold, platinum, diamond. There we go. That's the progression I was looking for. If you would like to submit your replay to MidRank Madness to possibly be cast, go ahead and send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of MidRank Madness. I will send it to my screeners along with the other ones that I get. They will take a look at them, send the best ones back, and those will likely get cast. All right, so here we are. This replay is labeled, and I quote, "Best game of my life." I don't know who said that. I don't know which of these players that is. That's all it says in the title, and my screeners don't spoil anything for me either. So they apparently decided, yes, this is a very good game. I will send it back to Falcon Paladin, and we will see what is going to happen here. So, all right, here it is. Barracks on the way. Looks like a Reaper timing for our friend Jay. I almost said the whole full name. That was not what I was supposed to do at all. All right, so let's take a look at this thing here. Marine coming out, and there's the full wall off. So playing a little bit more defensively, which is fine. You don't have to get the Reaper out. It's just any harassment you can do towards the Zerg player in the early game is really going to pay off for you in the long run. And look at this, actually one base in it. So Jay actually got a little bit lucky. If he shows up with a Reaper here at the standard timing, I think Roaches and Queens kill it in about half a second. They don't even think about it. And it's a very sad tale of a Reaper who did not fulfill his destiny. There is the wall off with the bunker heading on over to create a reactor and a factory coming up too. This might just be a Hellion timing or a Hellbat timing based on the fact that a reactor is coming up here. And this factory is on the way. I think the factory lifts up onto the reactor, which makes a ton of Hellions, which then transform themselves into Hellbats. That Marine had no chance. Why was he down there on the low ground? Were you trying to scout with him, or I don't know what? All right, that's fine. Anyway, so then you transform them into Hellbats, which you do need an armory for, which you should pay attention to that on the Terran side of things. But yes, that's my guess for what happens. Was that an attempted, yes, an expansion at this point? So it seems a little late, but you know what? This is MidRank Madness. We get to see some really unstandard stuff. Non-standard stuff from these players, which is definitely what makes it fun. Hatchery there as well by Zarkan, just now expanding. So both players not taking their expansions super early, actually getting a Marine out of this, and I am such a liar, turning that into a tech lab. So yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on in Jay's mind here. Some interesting stuff for sure. Double refinery coming up off of this one base. Okay, 1.5 bases. Lings once again saying, why am I not seeing a Reaper? Why am I not seeing Hellions? What is this Terran player doing? He must have something up his sleeve. Engineering bay coming out. I suppose he wants to make that a planetary fortress. And I mean, army size not that big, which is a problem. I suppose he could get a tank, put it on this high ground, which would really protect that area very well, the area that leads into his natural, but I don't know if that's the plan or not. It is a tank. We'll see exactly where it gets set up. The Lings are like, okay, there's not a base at the natural. Is there one down here? No. Is there one over here? No. Where could that other base be? The answer is it's still inside the main, and I do not blame you for being confused, Zarkan, and also being alert and attentive with your Lings is also very impressive to see there, my friend. APM for these guys through this point in the game, about 75, 60 to 75 or so Lings. Still dancing around. Again, slow Lings. Zarkan has no interest in actually making them speedlings, which seems a little bit of a waste, but they did kill a Marine, so they're not entirely useless here. Good creep spread coming out here from Zarkan as well. There's the landing of the command center. No bunker here. 4 Marines guarding this. Okay, Zerg players, pay attention. Keep somebody here to see exactly what's going on, because I feel like if Zarkan saw this, he has that many Lings, he has that many Roaches, I think he just wins the game. He comes in here, he steamrolls these guys, these 5 Marines, takes this out, contains the Terran player on one base, and just calls it good at this point. Yes, he can't get up the ramp, that is very true, but he doesn't need to. He just contain the Terran player, and you're going to be just fine. So if the Zerg player ends up losing this, which again is possible, I don't know who loses this game and who wins it, we can point back to this 4 minute and about 4.5 minute mark and say you could have killed the Terran And you did not, so that is bad news. Yes, there's a tank on the high ground, but it would not be enough to save this base. I'm just going to say that. Alright, so again, Slowlings, Roaches bouncing around here. Baneling Nest on the way. Lair coming up for Zarkan. +1 infantry weapons coming as well for Jay. Overlords scouting around different places. Again, trying to see, this is some impressive scouting, and he's taking his third down here. So maybe he was scouting these areas to make sure the Terran player didn't have anything nearby to where he wanted to take his third. I don't know why. Okay, why are you skipping this base? I have a theory on this that just came to me. I feel like Zarkan's maybe dealt with Terran players that drop here, and drop here, and drop here, and drop here, and just bounce back and forth, and he hates it. He hates having to deal with it, so he just expands far away so he can defend with what he needs to. Medevacs cannot abuse cliffs on him, and he is super happy that way. I feel like that might be what's going on. I don't know why else you would skip this third. I am giving Zarkan the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully he is correct on that one. So Jay has Marines, he has tanks, he has a Hellion moving out across the map here. Creep spread looking fairly good for this level of StarCraft 2. I'm impressed with what Zarkan has managed to do, pushing down towards his secret third base. That's the problem with Zerg, is if you have secret bases and you want to connect them with creep, it kind of shows where your bases are. So here we come, Marines with +1 attack, not stim, and no combat shield with 2 tanks. So it's a Marine tank push with a single Hellion. Interesting choice to get that single Hellion in here. Usually they're better in pairs or sets of 4 or whatever, but some Banelings, some Lings, some Roaches here, and gonna go for this thing is Zarkan. No! Actually not. Jay not actually sieging up his tanks. I guess he hasn't really needed to. There it is. There's the siege, killing these creep tumors. Doing a great job helping that creep to recede. A great choice at this point. Don't push in if you're not comfortable doing so. Set up outside, clear creep tumors, watch the creep disappear before your eyes, and maybe continue making reinforcements to come out across the map, because that is where things kind of go bad for players at this level, because right now there are Marines, there are tanks, but there is nothing in the middle here. You can see this. A 3-basing Terran, as Jay is basically already, should be able to have units coming across, reinforcements coming, but they instead, I think they're just rallied up here. See, they're not doing anything for you inside your base. Good Terrans like Polt will actually send these units up across the map to rendezvous with these guys as soon as they are made. Like, the sooner they can get to the front lines, the better, is the Terran line of thinking. So just that's another tip for you, for Jay. Hopefully you'll improve on that in the next game that you play. But so far, so good. I mean, I like this. I like the tanks. I like the Marines. I like if they had better upgrades as well. Stim, very good. Combat shield, very good in letting them survive against things like Lings and Queens. Roaches and Banelings are pretty much the problem. If you have Marines here, I'm sure that you know that. And having combat shield isn't super useful in that situation. But Zarkan doing absolutely nothing with his production tab until he makes that single drone. He is floating a lot of minerals right now, getting overlords, so he's not supply blocked ever again. And whoop, I think a Hellion tried to do some stuff here, but didn't really work out. So there are Hydras out. It's a strange choice to have Hydras. Oh, unsieging. Be so careful unsieging. More and more creep tumors are dying out on this way. Unsieged tanks are very vulnerable to surrounds by Zerg units, but it looks like Jay is lucky this time. The Zerg player has really no interest in attacking at this point. He's very worried about the tanks. He's worried about the Marines. He's not committing. He's going to lose this hatch rather than commit. A couple Hydras heading on down by themselves. Hydra's not that great in groups of 2. But yeah, the hatch ends up falling there. Secret third base gone. That Hellion might actually die too. And no, it lives. It lives. These eggs getting shot at. Oh, there are Hydras in these eggs. Oh no, cancel them. Cancel them. They will die. No, he leaves them alive. He leaves them alive. He's waiting to see what comes out. That's interesting. These Hydras do end up dead because, you know, tanks are pretty good against Hydras when there are 2 of them. Hydras pop. Do they do anything at all? They almost kill a Marine. This guy pretty low on health. Thinking his lucky stars. He has 9 hit points remaining. That he is not dead. Marine checking for a base here. He finds this one. Viking flying around. Killing Overlords too. This is nuts. Alright, alright. So Jay, 2,000 minerals. 2,000 gas. Bad. Bad. You can't do that. Get more barracks. Get more starports. You don't have anything under construction that can actually spend this money. So please keep that in mind. A Hellion trying to burn down a hatch all by his lonesome. Look at how determined he is. He's got the, like, cigarette in his... Oh, he died. He died. Oh, Medevac, no. Oh, Medevac dies too. Medevac flew in too early and died. One of the tanks does die to the Hydras too. Hydras being a little bit more effective than I would expect. Tank Marine push here as well. Ooh, on the high ground. On the high ground. Getting some splash damage on everything. That is a lot of stuff on fire up there. And Zarkan does pull back, being very patient. is our Zerg player. Coming down the ramp, here comes Zarkan. The Lings on top of the Marines, absolutely eating them alive. Roaches too. Now the tanks are unsupported. They will die immediately. Good job by Zarkan breaking that front, but he does lose that hatch too. He's on 2 bases, 3 almost. That one is so far away, and the small Marine tank hit squad decides to head on home. Wait, there was a barracks under construction there. Did he just finish it? I think he might have just finished it. All right, so Jay does have more barracks, which is good. He has 4 barracks, 2 starports, and a factory. Yeah, just not enough. Not enough. Make more and more barracks. If you're going bio, and it looks like you are, bio tank, more factories, more barracks. Vikings continuing to just fly around and try to murder overlords, even inside the main base. The Hydras make quick work of him, though. And is that a drone transfer? Drone transfer to the 3rd base as far away. Okay, not as far away. I think this is farther, but almost as far away as you can possibly go away from your main. That is going to be hard to defend, Zarkan. You better just hope that Jay has no idea this is here. He doesn't. You hope it stays that way. Raven mixed in. I'm not sure if he's planning on using that for Hunter Seeker or point defense drone or auto turret. If I had to guess, I would say point defense drone because of the Hydras, although they have a really fast fire rate, which does use up the charges on the point defense drone fairly quickly. Each shot consumes 10 energy. They do start, so they can run out of the ability to stop shots. Anyway, here comes another push. Marines, tanks, +1/+1 on these guys. Pushing through with some medevac support, and by some I mean 2. Again, more and more creep tumors dying. Zarkan's creep spread was good. He hasn't really been able to replace it. Crucible lands, hitting absolutely nothing. Double expanding. This is Zarkan down here trying to make sure his economy is safe. So it's a very heavy Roach Hydra composition, which I'm not a huge fan of. But considering the upgrades on the Marines are not super great and there are no Marauders to speak of, it might actually work out very, very well. Okay, there's 1 Marauder. He's back here. Single Marauder. Did he scan this? Oh, he scanned it. Oh, no. The Great Drone Massacre of 2016. Okay, maybe this is not the biggest one we've seen so far this year, but this is going to be bad. That's a lot of workers. 13 to be exact. Can they escape? Possibly. Can they escape while they're focusing on taking down the hatch? No. Nope. These Marines want to kill the drones. They don't run at all. That's a lot of dead drones, man. 13 workers killed. Hatchery falls too. Broodlings trying to kill stuff. Can't quite pull it off. Medevac's healing everybody up. +2/+1 here now. Still no stim and still... Wait, he does have combat shield. He does have combat shield. All right, so still no stim. I'm not sure why he doesn't have stim. That has been a good spell since vanilla StarCraft. I mean, back when I was a teenager, so yes, get stim. Oh, he is getting stim. He heard me. All right. Jay says, I will get stim to make Falcon Paladin happy, and I appreciate that. Muscular augments on the way for Zarkan, metabolic boost. +2/+2 for his ground carapace and his ground missile attack. Upgrades continuing for Zarkan. 198 to 141 total supply. It is 72 to 79 army supply, but that's 62 workers to 26 for Jay. Marine shooting some shots at this hatchery. He does not know about the death coming up behind him. He turns and sees it, and he's gone. Doesn't kill anybody. Doesn't take anybody with him to the Zerg-Terran afterlife, which I'm pretty sure is not a thing. There's no conjoined Zerg-Terran afterlife, else they would murder each other, right? Different species? Maybe there is. Maybe they live in peace and harmony, and they come to realize that their fights were embarrassing. Hydra's trying to get rid of these medevacs. The tanks doing what they can. The Marines just dying, though. Absolutely getting massacred. Picking up a couple of the tanks and getting them out of there. Not bad. Not bad a move there. Oh, and the juke back this way by Jay. Nice juke. Nice move. Getting back on in where the army does not think you're headed, because instead thinks you're over here. He could actually maybe take down one of these hatches with these tanks. How are their upgrades right now? I don't think they're very good. Actually, +2 vehicle weapons is on the way, which means that +1 is here. Zarkan is tired of playing defense. He decides it's time to come up with his army of roaches and ravagers and hydras. Can he do this thing? Tanks splashing on everything. Prosabos landing. Pretty good dodge by Jay. Just no stim on these Marines is such a problem. The tanks are trying to do what they can. The Marines are the buffer here, and they're not doing a fantastic job of that. Tank on the back with 6 total kills, but dies immediately. Oh, the medevacs here too, going to die. The few remaining hydras, there are still 5 of them. That's more than enough DPS to kill this thing. This hatch not going to die because Jay's not interested in unloading those siege tanks. And this base is in a lot of trouble. Like I said, tanks on the high ground doing a good job, but once again, not in range of this angle and cannot save this command center. Holy shamoly. Lurker Den on the way for Zarkan. +3 weapons on the way for the infantry, though. Not bad. As you see, those two Hydras die immediately. If they're being attacked directly, they'll die pretty quickly. Trying to bait the roaches into range of these tanks, and it's working. It is actually working. Wow, all the roaches die. Is +2 done? No. +2's almost done. Super close to done. 3, 2, 1. Boop. Boop. There it is. Boop. Crucio shot cannon. 60 damage versus armored now, and roaches are definitely armored. In production, a whole lot of lings. Look at all these lings. Do they have speed yet? They do. They do have speed. Muta's out here now, too, for Zarkan. All right, so a bit of a tech switch. Tanks finally start to attack, but there's a Muta overhead. We'll be able to kill them before they can kill the hatch. It's only one, keep in mind, but it is enough, especially if the friends arrive at the same time. A ling's here, too, so a quick ling Muta tech switch for Zarkan. I'm sure this makes Terran players absolutely rage to see what Zerg players can do. This base is in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. A Ling Muta attack on a planetary fortress-less base with no missile turrets. At least, I was going to say, at least he's running the SCVs. No. Nope. Not happening. Is there a drop over here? No, Vikings not doing much of anything to this point. Vikings trying to kill Mutas. Not a good proposition. That's another pro tip from Falcon Paladin. If your opponent has Mutas, don't go Viking. Do it. Go Liberator. Go Liberator, as they do extra damage versus these flying light units, like Mutalisks are, like biological. But yeah, the Marines do get rid of the Mutas, as they're very good at doing that. Their upgrades, again here, pretty darn fantastic. +3 attack and +2 armor is nothing to sneeze at. Alright, so, in order to save this base, Jay throws up a missile turret. Nothing back there, and nothing... Oh, he does have one. He has one here. These SCVs doing absolutely nothing to this point. Flying Command Center, Orbital Command... Here, almost being repaired by SCVs, but not quite. Not quite being repaired by them at all. Continuing with the Muta Ling production is Zarkan. Creep spread as well. Zarkan is not frustrated by the fact that he has lost a ton of creep tumors to this point. No siree. Has no interest in being sad about things. Instead, we'll be happy. Hey, look, Liberator production. Man, Jay can hear me today. Liberator's on the way. More Vikings, which I'm not a huge fan of, but if you have Liberators and Vikings, it's not terrible. Pushing in with no medevac support. These guys have stim. They do have stim now. Stim is finished, which means they should be able to handle the Mutas, but the Roach Hydra is a problem. That's a big deal. I'm not sure any of these Mutas are going to survive, but... Oh, nope. All the Mutas are gone. Tank's trying to retreat. This Roach Hydra tech switch back. Catches Jay entirely by surprise. He loses everything there. Yes, he killed stuff, but that was bad. Pretty even to this point on the resources lost tab. 11,000 to 12,000. Terran player has lost more. But Zerg players not far behind. Liberators, man, turning them tides. But no, the Orbital Command dies anyway. Jay could not save it. Hydras, no better than to walk into those circles. It seems like Zarkan has run into those before. So has some pretty good intelligence on what to do when he sees them, and that is run for your life. Fourth hatch on the way. Finally taking this base for the first time here at the 18-minute mark. I am not entirely sure what the delay has been, but that's okay. I don't need to know what the delay has been. 9 drones on the way for Zarkan. It is 31 to 48 harvesters. Now 40 to 48 as those drones all popped. So not bad. 48 harvesters on essentially 3 mining bases. Now that your main base is functionally mined out, your natural is almost gone too. Done a good job transferring drones away from this base as it's getting mined out and down to here. Pretty good stuff. Are you long distance mining from this base? No. Just you have enough minerals. Throw down a hatch. Long distance mining is the worst. It means you're desperate. It means you're in a position where you just need minerals, but you don't have enough money for a base. And you do. You have 1,400 minerals here. Jay has 5,000 minerals and 3,000 gas in the bank, as well as about 80 supply available too. So, I mean, he needs more production facilities so bad. More barracks, more factories. You can do this thing. Look at this army. He just ginned up out of nowhere. A lot of Liberators. A Raven in here too. I guess the Raven's more to clear out creep than anything else, and doing a pretty good job of it. A lot of dead creep tumors in this game, so pretty good stuff from Jay. All right, can he set up defender mode circles? He sets up the defender mode circles, not covering this ramp though, which is a problem. And no, there's the corrosive bile landing, killing a couple of the Liberators. There are still 2 here. Liberators need to set up defender mode circles. Tanks need to be in siege mode. There's a point defense drone. Actually keeping these guys alive for just a second, but chasing after here is Zarkan. Everybody going to die on the ground anyway. Liberators need to go. Need to go. There are Hydras chasing you. Run! And they do. And they do run. Can he save this base with the Liberator? I do not know. The Hydras from range, though, was absolutely tearing through them. Liberators dying all over the place. This one on the top of the ramp, taking some shots. Defender mode. Oh, it's still alive. Corrosive Bile has not killed it yet. There it is. It does die, killing 2 tanks at once. Is Zarkan. This is not looking good at all for our Terran player. Can he hold on? That third base is almost gone to this point. SCV's dying left and right here. Another Defender mode circle is set up. Man, these Corrosive Biles have been pretty on point for Zarkan to this point. I think he might have missed with that one. Did he hit with that one? Regardless, it's Liberator's dead now. Yeah, so that's a lot of dead Liberator. I feel like, yep, 20,000 resources lost compared to 15,000 lost for Zarkan to this point. That is a problem for our Terran player. More Vikings coming out. I just don't know that's the way to go. Holy Corrosive Bile. Evaporating those Marines. Really got to dodge that. Pushing on up. Can he? He's going to kill. Yep, kills the orbital command too. The Corrosive Bile use has been very impressive thus far from Zarkan. Why are you going home? What possessed you to go home at this point, Zarkan? You had a big old army. You have lurkers you're not really doing anything with. That's fine. Are you under attack? Is there a drop I missed that caused you to panic and decide it's time to pack it up? Because you just kind of let jgallarday off the hook there. All right. So where are you at, Jay? Are you making another command center? 2 of them. 2, which is good. He's actually down to 200 minerals. Wow. Wow. Spent that money really fast. Flying an orbital command over here. Landing Vikings to force a cancel possibly on this hatch. Not going to happen. Picking up, running out. Corrosive Bile's landing on his own stuff. Yo, killing a Ravager. Suicide by Corrosive Bile, man. That's not a good feeling. Hydra really wants to kill that Viking. Can't do it as the Viking escapes to the dead air with the waving palm fronds and the continuous breezes. Big old attack on this way. Taking out a hatch. Doesn't get a cancel on that one. Zarkan, unfortunately, not good. Not looking good at all there. Losing the extractor too. +3/+3 on these dudes with stim and combat shield. It took him a while, but Jay is here. Jay is fully upgraded on his bio, and he's ready to rock. Taking a base here is Zarkan to replace the one that died down that way. The Vikings are trying to kill mutas, but another Corrosive Bile killing a couple Ravagers there. That actually hurts quite a bit. Stutter stepping his way a little bit. Here is Jay. Corrosive Bile's landing, killing some stuff. Tanks on the high ground. Vikings. Liberators not really engaging here. There we go. Liberators versus the mutas should be doing just fine here. Defender mode circles are sniping down roaches, sniping on Ravagers. The lone muta is forced to retreat lest it die like the rest of its brethren. Corrosive Bile dodged. Good dodge. Good dodge by Jay. Trying to land a base up here does scout the fact that Zarkan is double expanding at this point. The number of expansions that have been made so far in this game seems like it's really high for a mid-rank madness, and I appreciate it. I approve of this message. More mutas on the way. I'm not sure that mutas are what you want when you see Liberators, man. Can you see this? +8 damage times 2 with a +1 attack. 16 damage of splash times 2. I mean, that is not anything to sneeze at there. Tanks, Marines, tanks with +2 attack, +1 armor. There goes that hatchery. This one's going to die as well. Is anything coming to defend this? Where's the army? What is the army for Zarkan right now? Actually, I don't know. Units tab. 7 mutas, 6 roaches, 3 lurkers, and a Ravager. Not good. Another hatch dies. Jay trying to make this thing work, man. Able to kill eggs this time. He couldn't do it the first time around, but he got it this time. And he's heading on out. Does he know about this base? He does. He scanned that base. Pushing out this way. Does he know about this base? He knows about that base. So he's been using scans very well. He knows exactly what's going on with the Zerg player. Corrosive Bile, single Corrosive Bile lands. I think that might have actually missed, surprisingly. Not really using stim is Jay. Usually I complain about players over-stimming. Jay might be a little bit too conservative with his stim. But he didn't really need it, I suppose. Nothing was really attacking him or defending at that point. There's the stim. Lurkers on the high ground. Oh, no. Lurkers absolutely tearing through everything, especially the tanks. But no, can the tanks clear out the Lurkers? Nope. Nope. One is forced to be picked up and lifted off there. Everything in the air is completely gone. This Lurker with 9 kills. What great positioning by Lurkers. Coming up the ramp is the Terran and just spine the whole way around. Good use of angles. Jay decides to back on out. It's 106 to 69 total supply. 47 to 65 on the army supply. Worker supply, again, still higher for Jay than for his opponent, Zarkan. You can land now. You killed this base. You can land. That's the other problem with StarCraft 2. The multitasking is intense. So darn intense. You could be good at micro. You can be good at other stuff. But, man, remembering the fact that, oh, yeah, there was a hatch here. I need to remember to land this as soon as that creep recedes. Players like Polt can do that with second nature. But at this level, it's actually fairly difficult to do. So good job here by Jay. Remembering, landing, throwing up a planetary fortress. That's good. That's his first PF. This one's going to be BF2. I think he's learned his lesson after losing quite a few command centers to this point. Is getting a planetary super useful, especially against a Roach Ravager type composition. Does very well against them, assuming it can actually finish. And is it going to finish? Where's the army? Where is your army? Where are you guys? There you are, but there's nothing there. Okay, over there. Can he save it? No, he doesn't need to save it. Actually pulling back is Zarkan. I suppose it might have just been the site of the PF itself that caused him to flee, so that's interesting. All right, so air Terran, this section, ground Terran down here. This tank has 16 kills and 6 hit points. He looks pretty comfortable though, right? He's kind of frowning a little bit, but he's always kind of frowning. Looking out the window, checking stuff out. His ears are a little pointed. Maybe he's half elf or something. I don't know, but it seems possible. Zarkan doing nothing with his production tab. That is never a good sign. You always want to be making something, whether it's drones, army units, additional bases, 5 Hydras on the way. I'm not sure that Hydras are what you want here. Fully upgraded bio and upgraded tanks do very well against Hydras. I mean, suppose they're a good choice here against the Liberators, but Queen doesn't manage to kill anything. Creep Tumor dies there too. Here we go. Corrosive Bile's on everything. The Liberator is actually walking through the Corrosive Bile a little bit there. Coming down that ramp seems super dangerous for Zarkan, but he's going to do it anyway. He does it anyway. Good concave on display. Corrosive Bile's getting some shots off. Tanks shooting a little bit too there. Zarkan backing on out. Wants to avoid the tank splash, which is good. Which is actually super impressive there. Creep again going to recede for what seems like the 18th time. Base here. Jay looking very strong. Very strong right now. Income tab is basically doubling up his opponent in minerals, about the same in gas, and the worker count, again, about 2 times as much. So this makes sense. 147 and 98 total supply. The medevacs have enough energy to heal everybody on the ground, which is very good. Corrosive Biles landing, killing both medevacs. What an amazing play by Zarkan. Absolutely just destroying them from far away. Jay wants revenge. He's like, all right, that's it. You kill my medevacs, I kill you. So trying to move in. Oh, no, the Hydra's taken out. Wow, both the Liberators die there. That is a problem. And overstimming now a little bit here is Jay, especially with no medevacs to support you. Continue with the medevac production. You have to do this thing. 18 kills, 2 kills, 0 kills. That one's a recruit. He's going to try to make this thing work. Ravagers landing. Dodge. Yeah, the time on that just seems too long. I don't know. Even at this level, if you can dodge that well, that's just my opinion, though. Another base coming up. Where is it? Where is another hatchery on the way? A macro hatch for Zarkan. All right. I mean, you don't have infinite numbers of money. That was a solid hit. All right. Jake Allard says, I don't care if I don't have any health left. Coming right on in, and holy smokes, another drone massacre. These guys don't care about the army that will destroy them eventually. Not at all. Forced to retreat, though, stimming on out, checking for a base here. There's not one. And actually dealing with these lings fairly well. It's just the rest of the army shows up, causes huge problems. The tanks should probably retreat at this point. They get out of siege mode, and yes, they are going to retreat. Unfortunately, the move speed is 3.15. Hydra, 3.94. They are faster. So here it is. The T-1000 is chasing down these siege tanks. They're trying to... Unfortunately, they're being outranged at this point by the Hydras. On the high ground, though, is Jay, and it's enough to force these Hydras, these Roaches, and these Ravagers back after taking out more and more Vikings. So pretty good stuff. PDD trying to do things, but can't quite pull it off. Crossbows landing in the middle of the group, killing a bunch of units there. Tank splash on everything. The Vikings keep extending a little bit too far out and dying. All right, so if you're at a point where your Vikings can't actually hit anything because there's nothing in the air, but you want to keep them around, don't put them with your attack group. Let's see if I can see. Is this even on? Yeah. See, it's on this control group 1 here. What you actually want to do is just have them follow the medevacs and put them on a different control group. So the medevacs stick close, the Vikings stick close, and they don't overextend because you attack moved over here. There's nothing for them to attack. They will fly over a group of Hydras, no problem, to their own deaths. So what I like to do, again, is just right-click on a medevac so they'll follow. So they're around. They'll still attack if attacked or if they see an enemy within range, but they won't overextend to their own deaths. All right, this is the 30-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Not many of my casts get to 30 minutes, but this one so far has. Personal cloaking on the way. Jay, do you have ghosts? I haven't seen ghosts for a while. I did not expect to see it in a MidRank Madness. All right, here we go. This base in a lot of trouble. Here, Swarm Host. What? Swarm Host flying on in. I'm not sure how effectively they're doing this thing, but forced to stutter step a little bit are these tanks, picking up the tanks, trying to run away. Corrosive Bile landing on the other medevac, dies to the Hydralisks. What a hold by Zarkan. What a hold. Lost a couple more drones there. As you can see, some of these guys are fairly injured. It is 52 workers killed by Jay and 45 workers killed by Zarkan. Income tab 21 to 77. Jay's looking good, man. Representing Terran well. A couple of mutas dying to them. Vikings. Upgrades on these guys looking good. +2, +3. Nothing to sneeze at. Still not the best. Yeah, see exactly what we're doing here. The Vikings, they come out ahead. They get hit there. They get hit by Hydras. Oh, killing his own Hydra there. Doing a better job, I think. Hanging back a little bit. Not quite sure if he wants to engage. Whew. Units tab. 28 drones, 77 SCVs, 15 Hydras, 8 Roaches, 1 Corruptor, 1 Lurker, 1 Ravager, and 2 Queens for Zarkan. Meanwhile, 9 medevacs, that's a good number for Jay. 4 Vikings, 3 tanks. Corrosive Bile's landing on them all day. Actually killing a Marine there. 9 Marauders, 25 Marines, 166, 297 total supply. Again, a lot of that is just workers. He should just be maxed out on Marines at this point. He really should. He's going to make that thing work. He also needs to siege up his tanks before he moves in to attack this way. Using unsieged tanks is fine, but not as good as siege tanks, it turns out. So these guys are trying to hold on, but they're just so outnumbered. A Viking lands and gets absolutely murdered there too. Oh, no medevacs. Medevacs dying. Oh, this one gets picked off to its corpse or whatever a medevac has when it dies. Falls over here, smokes, and disappears into the ground. So pretty good hold by Zarkan. Again, he's pretty much been undermanned most of this game in supply and total army supply, but he's made this thing work. He has +2, +2. He shows no signs of going for +3, +3 to this point, which seems like a bit of an obstacle. Lings coming in before the PF is finished. Oh, no. Oh, no, Jay. All these Lings die. An attempted repair just doesn't really work when there are Lings there. And there's the cancel. Nope. No cancel. Trying to save it was Jay, but he was too late. Man, these Lings just tearing people apart. +2, +2 there. Coming from the backside of the Hydras. A full surround on these units. They're actually doing better than I thought, but nope, they're running, which means the Hydras can actually snipe down the medevacs from the sky, as we've seen so many times in this game. Retreating to the safety of the planetary fortress. I like this. 1 Roach dies immediately, and the Hydras decide to retreat after the corpse of their Roach friend warns them away. Another hatch coming up for Zarkan. He does not give up. You can say that much about him. He's not going to give up. He's not going to go away quietly. That is for sure. They are getting rid of these refineries, mind you. Another hatch coming up for Zarkan. Again, I feel like the number of bases that have been made on this game is super high. I wish I could see how many have died, but this is unfortunately the default interface and not Servant Obs, because there was a small patch that Blizzard added today, which made all of my previous replays unable to be viewed using my Servant Obs. It makes me sad. Fusion Core on the way. Usually this just means the upgrade to Liberators, the ballistic, what is it, advanced ballistics upgrade. But considering the fact there are no Liberators on the field, I have to imagine this is going to be Battlecruisers. This might be BCs for the second time in about a week. We might just see Battlecruisers on the channel. Creep spread continued to be waged against by war. I'm not sure if that made any sense, but we're 35 minutes into this thing. Marines, Marauders forced to retreat in the face of a superior Zerg army. Hive on the way for Zarkan at 34 minutes. Seems a little bit late, but hey, what do I know? And the medevacs die. These Hydras have really paid for themselves thus far. Done a great job here. This base is mined out, but there are still some SCVs here to kill if you want. The Vikings utterly useless to this point, trying to throw down a PDD, but look how quickly it expires and just dies. Don't fly over that! Why are you doing this? Oh, Vikings. Oh, and then he comes back for more Vikings. Wow. May I have another? Say the Vikings. Reinforcements do come in. SCVs fighting for their lives too, absorbing damage, but dying almost too quickly to be super useful here. Nevertheless, the Hydras are dying. They're getting chased down by Stim Marines and Marauders. They decide to make a stand of it, and they die. Because making a stand of it is often what you do before you die. Alright, so I want to see this siege tank go into siege mode. Let's do this thing. Set up here, right here, set up a siege tank in siege mode so that anybody that comes and tries to defend us, there it is! There's the siege mode. You can actually get them. Alright, good. Hatch is going to die here. I feel like this is the 8th hatchery that Jay has killed so far in this game. Done a pretty good job keeping Zarkan on a low econ. It's 50 to 142 total supply. Lings coming, get a full surround on everybody. All of them tanks are going to die. No, they get picked up and saved. Jay's done a pretty good job with that, actually. With the pick up and save move. Is that a sensor tower? Nope, not anymore. It was a sensor tower, but now it's gone. +3 ship weapons coming up here, too. Is it going to be BCs? He has a lot of gas and a lot of minerals. What are you doing here? Where's your starport? Medevacs. Okay, I guess you need medevacs. Fine. Medevacs. A bit of a drop up here. Again, Ling's very good against tanks, as we can see here. Not as good against fully upgraded Marines. As you can see, they're having trouble with them. But they do get through there eventually, I guess, especially with the support of Hydras and Roaches. Big old shots from the ground by the Hydras. Retreating, trying to get out of there, but they have to fly over. Creep. Oh, second group of Hydras. Bam, sucka. Muta's going to chase him down too. And by Mutas, I mean one Muta, because there is only one. And all the medevacs are gone. That is just painful. All right, so J, base here, SCV is not doing anything, but they're ready to mine as soon as this base is complete. Heading out with a small group of Hydras and Roaches and Lings, deciding to get out across the map here. Zarkan hanging out, mining, getting a greater spire, because at this point, why not? He does not have the gas to support this. I'm just going to point that out. If you're going to go greater spire, you have to make Corruptors and then Broodlords. That adds up so quickly. So darn quickly here. Attempted run by, and deciding then to stand and fight, but it was too late to do so. Unfortunate decision to attack up this route, because a lot of units died there for the Zerg. Base finished. Base almost finished for Jay. It's so close, and there it goes. There it goes. Can happily mine, can happily refine, can happily throw down a planetary fortress. See, the difference here is that Jay has lost a lot of orbital commands, but not any planetary fortresses. Zarkan really hasn't had the ability to get rid of a PF with enough Roaches, enough Ultras, for example. Ultraless Cavern on the way. It does take quite a bit to take one of those things down. All right, pushing forward. Tanks, siege mode. Tanks, siege mode. Not in siege mode. That's okay. Nobody's really coming to defend. The army sitting up here. Banelings without speed. Yep, Banelings without speed, which are not super useful. Another creep tumor dies. Does he know about this hatch down here? He does not know about that hatch down there, which is going to be a problem for him. Creep spread, continuing to die almost as fast as being made here. Here comes a big old push on in. Can he stutter stepping away? Baneling's making connections, though. Oh, was it enough? I don't think it was enough. There's still a lot of Marines and Marauders here. +2, not quite. +3, single. Lurker on the ground does get taken down. Focused down by Jay. Another point defense drone being used against these Hydras. I mean, they're not super effective, but they're not bad either. They're definitely not bad. This base up and going. Zarkan doing things that Jay does not know about, which could be a huge problem here. Again, Ultra's pretty good. I would not be surprised if Zarkan manages to rally up 3 or 4 Ultras with good upgrades and then just comes and wrecks the Terran player. Although the upgrades, let's take a look here. He does have +2 everything. So yes, he does have the armor upgrade. He does have the attack upgrade necessary. I mean, I'd like to see +3. It's just he's so gas starved right now. It's very difficult to do this. He's getting 2 additional extractors there. And oh, Marauder found this base. A Marauder found this base, now pushing up with more Marines and more tanks and a BC. There it is. Does not disappoint. +3. Who called in the fleet? Jay did. Jay called in the fleet, sir. Are you a cyborg? I know I've had this discussion before, but is he a cyborg or is that... Oh, and there's the well played. Zarkan calling out the WP. He has just a handful of Hydras remaining here. Big Terran army on the front door. Maxed out Terran army. Tanks with +3. Marines with +3. Jay throwing out the very good-mannered U2. This Marauder desperately wants to be known as the Marauder that killed the hatchery all by himself. SCVs coming into assist. There's just nothing left for Zarkan. He has a Swarm Host on the way. SCV's in there to help out and actually not doing too bad with their DPS. The Broodlings, not sure who to attack. They want to get that Marauder, but they're going to die before they can. Sadly for them. Setting up shop, both players just hanging out. Battlecruiser snuck around back, wants to kill these Hydras by his lonesome. Can he do it? He does have full upgrades. No! No, Battlecruiser, no! Oh, Battlecruiser. Battlecruiser dies. Is there another one? I want more Battlecruiser. No? Production tab? No? Jay, you can make another one. Okay, you don't have enough supply to make another one. That's a problem. Marines, stim down, run down, kill more and more of them. Drones will watch that drone killed count skyrocket. 75 to 69, though. Zarkan's killed a lot of workers of his own to this point. Hydra is trying to do this thing, but the tank splash is so tough to deal with. So difficult to deal with as Hydra's. Another hatch falls there. Jay having killed, I want to say, at least 10 hatcheries to this point. 10, possibly 11. Not sure if any of you have been keeping track at home, but it feels like that's what we're dealing with here. And yeah, it's 26 to 200 total supply. Scan, seeing exactly what's going on. All right, so we will let jgallarday finish this up, but I'm going to go ahead and mute it and wrap up. So that is it from me. Well played by Jay. That was nip and tuck for a long time. The upgrades weren't super good for a while for either of these players. Zarkan, I loved the tech switching between Ling Muta and Roach Hydra Ravager. It worked for him a lot of times, but just not enough to pull it off in the long run. The continued assaults on the hatcheries, the aggressiveness that Jay showed really paid off. Not necessarily with drops, just regular overland stuff, and it worked out for him. So, well played to the Terran player, and this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly edition of MidRank Madness. Again, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Before us, our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. Justice, our duty is unending. I feel your presence. We are as one. Sense of soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Jgallarday. Ascension is before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. I sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala-adu. Sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala-adu. I sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala-adu. Kalarulas. Karamulas. Aklaranas. Naslar